Endeavor ISS, this is Houston. Are you ready for the event?
Houston, this is ISS. We're ready for the event.
WJRT TV, this is Houston. Please call Endeavor ISS for a voice check.
Houston, this is WJRT. Do you hear me?
WJRT, this is ISS. We have you loud and clear.
Oh, loud and clear. We like that.
All right, we hear you loud and clear. Go ahead and...
Well, I'm thrilled and honored to be talking to the pilot of the Space Shuttle Endeavor, Gregory Johnson, and mission specialist Drew Feustel. And gentlemen, I was going to say good evening. It's good evening here. How do I address you? Is it good morning, good afternoon, or good evening up there?
Well, it's kind of a morning for us. We've just been up a few hours. We're spending our final 10 hours or so in the space station. We're going to close the hatches tonight, sleep, and then on dock first thing in the morning. So it's a bittersweet day for us today.
Greg, I'm going to ask my first question to you. Being the pilot of Endeavor, boy, you get to see some fantastic real estate when you're flying the bird. And I understand there's one or two places on the planet that you really, really like, and it's kind of a backdoor compliment, I think. One of them is here in Michigan. Is that right?
That's absolutely correct. It's a little confusing, but being a military brat, Ohio and Michigan have both been kind of my home states. I went to high school in Ohio, but maybe I'd like to retire in Traverse City, Michigan. There's a beautiful lake, Long Lake, Michigan. It's just southwest of Traverse City, about 8 or 10 miles. And we had an overflight. Drew and I both have been trying desperately to get some great photos of Michigan. It was cloudy over the Detroit area, but Traverse City was clear, and we flew directly over the bay, the Grand Traverse Bays, and got a straight-down shot on Long Lake up near Traverse City. It was wonderful.
Well, Drew, that's a natural follow-up. For those who don't know, Drew is born and raised in Lake Orion, just down the street from where I'm talking to you right now. And, Drew, you've logged a lot of time in spacewalks. And to me, that's one of the greatest thrills, the launch, spacewalks, and return. Can you ever put into words, can you ever verbalize the feeling of what it's like to take a spacewalk?
I can tell you it's quite exhilarating. It's the first moments outside of the airlock are a little bit tense. You could say even a little bit scary. My first experience in space was, of course, with the Hubble Space Telescope, and in that environment, our work area was just out the back door inside the shuttle payload bay. In this case, on the International Space Station, when you open the hatch, you're staring straight down on the Earth, and I can tell you it really took my breath away that first moment, and felt a little tentative moving around. And then to see the great expanse of the space station as it hovers over the Earth is just fascinating. The colors are very vivid, the structures are very real, and you realize you've got quite a long ways to go to get to your work site. But it's a very special opportunity, and I'm just thrilled to have had that chance to be out there and do the spacewalks and do the work on the space station.
You know, Drew, I've often wondered, does the training that you go through for a spacewalk, weightlessness, even come close to the actual experience? I'm sure they try their best to train you, but is it like night and day, or is it really pretty close?
Well, it's pretty close, except for the view. You know, we train at the Neutral Buoyancy Laboratory, which is a large pool and has the structure of the International Space Station in it. But the details are extremely close, and in fact, that's one of the things that helps us, because when we get out on the space station here in space, it's easy to become disoriented because our bodies are able to maintain different positions than we do in the Neutral Buoyancy Lab, and that's mainly due to gravity and some of the loads we have to deal with there. So when you get turned upside down or facing the wrong direction, and you have the the distractions of the Earth spinning beneath you, it can send your gyro spinning in your head and get you a little bit out of sense and lose a sense of direction. So details and the effort that the folks at the Johnson Space Center put into training us and providing us with those mock-ups of our facilities really save us and help us. And with almost 200 hours of training for this mission in that pool, that allowed us to really focus on our tasks and not become distracted by the views or the disorienting body positions out there.
Gentlemen, we asked our viewers to pose some questions on our Facebook page, and there was one resounding theme, and it's a pretty simple question. We think we know the answer, but we'd certainly like to hear you. What are your thoughts about the end of the Space Shuttle program? This particular question submitted by Alan, and I'm going to postscript it by asking kind of a B-side of that, too. While the shuttle program may be coming to an end, you know, as a kid, I always wanted to grow up to be an astronaut. Kids today, both girls and boys, they can still have that dream, can't they? The Space Shuttle program may be coming to an end, but we still need astronauts.
Absolutely. I was in Cairo, Michigan, on the east side there, at my grandparents' house, watching a black and white TV when I was 7 years old, watching the first lunar landing back in 1969. And at that point, I had the dream of becoming an astronaut, and it took about 40 years, but finally achieved that dream here. The last few years, I've gotten a couple space flights, and you know, Endeavour is has been and the space shuttle has been a workhorse for space exploration, essentially building the entire space station, fixing the Hubble telescope, and doing a whole bunch of other interesting tasks out in space. And when the space shuttle retires, we're going to lose a lot of capability of moving large payloads out to space. But then that opens the doors for new things that are going to come across the horizon. And the children out there should be inspired that when they get to go, they'll probably get to go beyond low Earth orbit, maybe to the moon, maybe to Mars or beyond. You have anything to say?
That's a great answer.
Thank you, gentlemen, too. And I have one final question, and this one I'm going to pose to Greg. I know you're going to be pretty busy come Monday bringing Endeavour back home, but it is Memorial Day. You and several others, astronauts, certainly have seen military service, even some combat service. What are your thoughts? What are you thinking of Memorial Day 2011? And, Drew, feel free to jump in on that one, too.
Well, you know, we have a rich history in our country of service. And it was an honor for me to serve my country for 24 and a half years. I still kind of feel like I have the same job. After retiring from the Air Force, I had the same desk, the same duties, and basically flying in space has been my job in the Air Force for the last 10 years of it. So I would say that I'm proud of all those who have served and all of those in the federal government who have also supported military service. And, you know, it's just a bittersweet weekend thinking about that and allowing us to be doing what we love.
And I would just like to say that after having been in the program for 10 years, it's an honor to serve the country this way as a civilian. And I guess it's appropriate that Endeavour is landing in its final flight here on Memorial Day to sort of commemorate it all. And it makes it that much more special for us on this anniversary and the occasion of its landing and its final flights.
Well, Drew, Greg, thank you very much for your time, and thank you for your service to our country. Have a fun trip back home, and hope to see you on terra firma pretty soon. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks so much.
Endeavour ISS, this is Houston ACR. That concludes the WJRT TV portion of the event. Please stand by for a voice check from WKYC.
Hi, Greg. Hi, Drew. It's Eric Mansfield in Cleveland, Ohio. Can you hear me tonight?
Hi, Eric. We have you loud and clear from the International Space Station.
All right, here we go. Let's just track this here. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. And it is my pleasure tonight to go live now to the International Space Station and talk with pilot Greg Johnson and mission specialist Drew Feustel way up there at the International Space Station, of course, aboard STS-134 Endeavour. Gentlemen, good evening. How is the trip going?
Hey, good evening. We're having a fantastic time. This is flight day 14, which for us is actually our final day on the space station. And we've had 4 exceptional spacewalks during the time up here. We've been in preparations over the last few days of transferring items, resupply items to the space station, and we're now in the process of packing up everything we need to take back with us on the shuttle and get ready to leave.
Can you talk to me about just what it means, the significance of saying goodbye to the shuttle program, and also for both of you saying goodbye to the International Space Station to come home?
Well, it's been an honor to be aboard Endeavour. Endeavour is I love all the shuttles, but Endeavour's been my favorite. I flew my first flight in Endeavour. It's the newest space shuttle, and now this is the 25th flight, a nice round number for Endeavour's final mission. And so it's a thrill to be on this final flight of Endeavour.
And we're really pleased to be able to help round out the program with the successful work that we've had up here. And we hope that there's one more flight after us, and they'll finish off the space shuttle program. And we really believe that we're ending on a very strong and positive note, and looking forward to future opportunities.
Sure. And you know the prayers of America, and certainly everybody in Northeast Ohio is with you. How is Commander Mark Kelly doing? Because certainly everyone's concerned about him and sending their best wishes during this trip.
Well, he's done quite well. He's an experienced commander and experienced military pilot, and he's performed flawlessly and been an exceptional leader for us over the past 2 years. And I think it's an honor for both of us and the rest of the crew to serve with him, and we've really appreciated and enjoyed his leadership.
Now, before I let you go, I got to ask you, Greg, I know that you went to high school in Ohio, and Drew, you grew up in Michigan. How are the two of you getting along up there at the space station?
Well, you know, Drew and I were just talking about that this morning. We're actually both from Ohio and Michigan. I went to high school in Ohio, but I have strong family roots in Michigan. My mom and dad both went to U of M, and my sister went to U of M. And even though Ohio State, the guy across the street had an Ohio State flag hanging during the Ohio State-Michigan game, my dad would wear his MGO blue tie even with his military uniform, which is not exactly allowed, but he would do it on that day. You have anything to say to that?
Well, I just figure I lived close enough to Ohio and spent enough time there, and have had some relatives that have lived in the state that I consider Ohio part of my hometown area as well.
All right. Well, only in outer space can you mix Michigan and Ohio and get along. Greg and Drew, thank you so much to both of you. Thanks for spending time with us, and have a safe journey home.
Yeah, thanks so much for your time, and we appreciate the support.
Endeavour ISS, this is Houston ACR. That concludes the event.
Thank you, WJRT-TV and WKYC-TV. Endeavour ISS, we are now resuming operational audio communications.